everyone, welcome to the Technical University of Munich's MOOC on academic writing. I am Aparna Bhar and our lesson today is on active versus passive voice when it comes to writing scholarly texts. Many believe that the passive voice is more suitable for academic writing. They believe it is more objective, formal, etc. However, my question is this really the case? And we're going to try and answer this today. First, we will analyze the text by answering some questions. After that, we will look at the advantages of active over passive voice, including reader friendliness, clarity, and good research, as well as avoiding unnecessary wordiness. Then it'll be your turn to practice avoiding the unnecessary passive voice. Finally, we will also look at situations where the passive voice has a clear advantage over the active. So here's an excerpt. I would like you to pause the video in a moment and read through it and answer the questions below. By agent, I mean the performer of the actions. Now you can pause the video. As you notice, the sentences above are in passive voice and therefore the agents are not mentioned. In answer to the second question, you will agree with me that this question cannot really be answered, as we do not know for sure if the agent is the same. Maybe, maybe not. Moreover, the agent switches clearly from the third to the fourth sentence. Regarding the third question, this style of writing creates confusion, and if you remember the video on rhetorical preferences, and the fact that the writer is responsible for meaning, confusion is the last thing you want to create. Let's now consider the ways in which the active voice can overcome these problems. The first aspect I would like to consider is reader friendliness. Take a minute and read the two sentences on the screen and decide which one is easier to read. You can pause the video now. Most of you will agree that the second sentence is more reader-friendly. However, why? It gives the reader an agent, here studies on adolescent obesity, and a clear action, the verb focus. The second aspect I would like to consider is clarity and good research. Read the sentence on the screen. My question to you is, who was it, X or Y, both being names of scientists, or was it them both that performed the action here? Here the active voice is a clearer alternative. The second sentence now. Who has questioned these findings? This is important information and it is missing. The active works better again, as it gives the reader this info and shows you have done your research. Finally, let's look at the third sentence. Again, my question is who? This is an important finding. Who discovered this? The active version provides the reader with this information and demonstrates that you have done your research well. The last aspect I want to touch upon today is something you've already dealt with previously. It is about avoiding unnecessary words in a sentence and also nominalizations. Pause the video and compare the active and the passive versions of the two sentences. Just by looking at the sentences, you can tell the active, the ones in blue, are shorter. Also, you notice that the active versions have fewer nominalizations, which, as you have learned previously, make writing dense and unnecessarily complicated. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and convert the following sentences into active voice. Welcome back. On the right, you can see the answers. Sentence 1 offers you two possibilities. For those of you who do not wish to use the pronoun I, the first person in academic writing, the second option works. Finally, I would like to go over cases where the passive voice is preferable to the active. We have 4 scenarios here. First, when the agent is unknown or irrelevant, like in the example here. Which individual doctors have done this is not important. The second is when we want to refer to general truths but avoid the use of we because it sounds too conversational. Further, in the methodology section of your paper, as the reader already knows that you have conducted this experiment or survey or interview. Finally, to ensure cohesion, the old-new flow Jeremiah talked about in his video. In conclusion, it is important to remember that you as the writer are responsible for communicating meaning effectively. Therefore, it is important to choose active or passive voice based on how it affects this communication. In many circumstances, the active voice is more appropriate, as it is more reader-friendly, generally shorter, and avoids nominalizations. In certain cases, however, the passive might be a better option. Note that lacking research is not one of these. Thank you for your attention and see you soon again.